All right, once you get recording, good, there it is, perfect. All right, perfect. Okay, so we are doing number 3 and 4. This is 5.33, and I say it's numbers 3 and 4 because 3 and 4 are the same. So this is like 3 and 4, because what we have to do is copy this, right? Then we need to put a point on the line and make a perpendicular line through it. So you know what? Copy each segment, place a point on the segment. We're going to start right there. We're going to just start with assuming that we already copied this this line, because all it would be to copy this would be to open it up, right? Open it up. Actually, I'll do it. Why not? Put a point, stake it, lean it, arc it. And now what we can do is go to that point, put another point there, right? Because I just arced it, I knew that's the same distance. So I can do, this is the copy. So that's what we had to do. But if you just copied it onto your page, the main thing here is to just be able to do the perpendicular line through a point on this segment. So let's put the point over here. Why not? Why not? It'll make us adapt to it. And remember that the goal is to get our double fish right through that point to have a perpendicular line. So if I'm doing this, I need to look and see, well, first I got to make my arc from that point. Remember this point? Remember this? We did this before. So look, I'm going to go ahead and make my arc, stake it, lean it, stake it. I need to put something under here. So notice if you're like, why is the stake always slipping? It's because you might be on a very slippery surface. Like this desk I'm using is very slippery. So now I know I made my arc. Look, I made my arc, and then at the arc line intersections, I'm going to make my double fish right between it, right between it. So look, what do I need to do? Is this going to work? If I make my arc from here to make my double fish, is that going to make a double fish? Is that going to make a double fish? No, it's got to overlap. I have to go more than what? I have to go more than halfway from each of the arc line intersections, and then my double fish will be right in the middle. So look, I stake it, I stake it, I arc, I stake it, I lean it, and I arc it. And I'm going to go from the other side as well. I'm going to stake it, I'm going to lean it, I'm going to arc it. Nice, we got it, we got it, we got it, we got it. So now all I need to do is go through, and the arc double fish intersections are going to be right lined up with the point I put there. Because our initial arc made that distance around that initial point, it made these segments the same. So I know then my double fish is going to be right in between. So then I go here, I'm going to go ahead and put a line through all those points, and it is perpendicular, and I'm done. That's it. Okay, so let's look and see what we did again. We had the initial point on our line segment. I went and I made an initial arc that, let me move out of the way. I made an initial arc around that point, and then I went and from those two line arc intersections, I made my double fish right in between, right? From left, from right, and then make my line through, and that's a perpendicular line. Beautiful, we did it. We're champions. All right, what other number should I do? That looks like it was all we needed to do for the perpendicular line. So I'll do one of the parallel lines. So this is for 3 and 4. It's the same. Thanks, Liza. Right on top of it. Good job. All right, number 8. This one we have to make parallel lines to the segment. So first it says compass and straight edge to copy the segment. And literally I would take my compass and go over to the screen. Okay, it opens up that far. So now to copy down that segment, I just need to copy segments, it's easy. You stake it on a new point. You had already opened the compass to the length of the segment. You make an arc, doesn't even have to be that long. And then I go here and I can now have a copied segment from what I had on the screen. Okay, so if you don't have your book, you have to copy it, and that's how you copy a segment. So number 8 has R and S. R and also S. Okay, we need to make a line that is parallel to RS, parallel to RS. So one thing, remember, I need to do is, this is the situation where I have a line, and I'm gonna make my 2 goalposts. Remember, I'm gonna bury the goalposts. If this goalpost is straight up, and I make this one a little longer just to be able to cut it, in order to make a line that is parallel to this one, all I need to do is cut them so that they're the same height. Equal distance. Equal distance will make parallel lines. So that's why I'm setting up here. All I'm doing right now is making two perpendicular lines just like up here. I'm making one goalpost, the other goalpost, and then I'm going to connect them and cut them off with a chainsaw so they're the same height. Okay, so let's go ahead and make one of our goalposts here. We'll make the other goalpost over here, but let's actually get to that when we get to it. Let's do one at a time. All right, same exact thing. And you know what? This is a smaller segment, so I got to be careful. But look, I'm going to go ahead and make my arc just like so. Just like so. Right? There's my arc, and now I have an arc line intersect right here. These two arc line intersect. So what I can do is I can go in here, make sure I go more than halfway, and make my double fish in between. You see, we're just going to do this twice. And you're like, well, how'd you know? How'd you know to put that point there? I chose to make the point there. As long as you're just making a line parallel to RS, it doesn't matter, where these construction marks are. All that doesn't really matter. So it's frustrating for some math students because they're like, whoa, wait a minute. I hate it when you say it can be anything we choose. What if I choose wrong? You can't choose wrong. You can't choose wrong. You can choose to put the goalpost wherever you want. Okay? So I'm seeing now that this is, it's not, it's because it's not even. Okay, so I can't use my grid lines because I didn't make my RS. RS isn't perfectly on the line, you see. So the perpendicular line isn't going to be on the grid marks, right? But here, that's perpendicular. Now, we got to go over here and we got to do it for another point. Let's do it right here. Same thing. Same thing. Second verse, same as the first. You ever think it's weird that there's a driving game that's 99 bottles of beer on the wall? I'm like, yo, you're driving. Why are you thinking about beer? All right, look. We can go more than halfway. We can stake it, lean it, drag it, and make our second double fish right here. You see, I'm just making double fish. Stake it, lean it, drag it. Stake it, lean it, drag it. That's what I do. We'll have a stake off tomorrow to make sure we still have those skills. And then look, this one goes through those points. And it is going to be also perpendicular. Okay, so these are perpendicular to that RS line segment. And then now all we need to do is make sure that, just like we're making the goalpost, right? We got to make the goalpost parallel to the ground. So we got to cut off what we don't need so that these two sides of the goalpost are equal. That will make the top parallel to the bottom. So let's go ahead and look at this. All I need to do now is decide how far out I want this line. I'm going to make it way out here. And all I'm doing is saying that the goalpost here is going to be the same as the goalpost here. You see? Those two marks now are going to be my equal distance from my other line here. And the reason why we had to find perpendicular lines is, think about this. If I have a goalpost that is straight up and down, but I have the other goalpost that's like this, right? It's not straight up and down. Then when I go to measure, okay, I want the goalpost to be this height, right? Measure it here. Well, I'm going to measure in this direction, so it's not going to be straight up from the line. It's not going to be straight up from the line I'm trying to get equal distance from. Equal distance has to and depends on a direct perpendicular direction from my initial line. So this needs to be upright. This won't work. That's wrong. But I did that here. I make that distance, and now I can go in and I can put my goalpost in there. Beautiful. And now I can put these. Remember, these are the tick marks that show that these two things are parallel. So now I have my segment that's parallel to RS. Okay, so again, it's double, do the goalposts, then cut them off at the top so that they're equal distance, and that will make two parallel lines. Okay? All right. So these are great. These are great. And I think that you'll see that 7, 8, and 9 are all like this. So 7, 8, and 9, so 7, 8, and 9 are all the same thing. You're creating these parallel lines. So actually, you're just basically doing that 3 times. Okay. Now I want to do number 1 because number 1 is the only problem here that's different. Number 1's the only problem here that's different. So number 1 you had to make a perpendicular bisector. Okay. So we're going to do a perpendicular bisector. We're going to assume, yeah, this is fine. We'll assume that this is our line AB, our segment. So this is number 1 in the homework. So I basically just set this up so I have my segment AB. Okay. Now, the thing with this is we need to make this not just perpendicular, which was like our problem we did for number 4. We need a perpendicular line, a point we placed there, and that could be anywhere, placed anywhere. We want to do a perpendicular and also bisect this segment. So if I'm going to bisect this segment, first off, here's my 2 points. If I make a double fish in the middle, that's going to bisect it. Remember, double fish bisects it from any 2 points. The double fish, if I need to bisect, is just going to look at the endpoints and make a double fish right in the middle. The double fish will then break that segment right in half. So we have to do that first in order to just find, actually, this is funny, because we are going to be able to do a bisection and a perpendicular line with 1 double fish. Watch. I need to make sure that I open up beyond halfway in order to make my double fish work. Otherwise, they won't overlap. And now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make my 1 double fish from arc from that side, arc from this side, right? And now what I've done is, remember, the double fish is always right in between the 2 points. The reason it's right in between the 2 points is that, right, I'm making this arc with this radius. I'm making the other arc with the exact same radius, right? So if you go this direction from one point and you go the exact same distance from the other point, the overlap is exactly the same. You see, the overlap is going to be exactly the same. Now, if the overlap is the same, then the place right in between the overlap is exactly in the middle. Okay. So you guys, I said to do number 1 last because you'll see that it's actually exactly the same as just make a perpendicular line. And if we use these AB points on the outside as our double fish kind of reference, then we know that this line I'm drawing right now bisects AB, right? So A to the bisection point and the bisection point to B, these are tick marks, show that those are the same distances. And I also know that the double fish between 2 given points will also create a perpendicular line. So look, we did it all in 1 step. We didn't have to find this point and then make our arc and then find the double fish. We didn't have to do a double fish more than once. So the perpendicular bisector is accomplished with just 1 double fish. What? No way. Yes way. So that concludes basically all of the homework review, those constructions I gave to you in about 13 minutes. So I hope that's helpful. Get those compass and protractors. All right. All right. Goodbye to those watching the video.